Power Book 2, Ghost, Season 3, Episode 6, titled Land of the Lies. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? I go by the name of The Black Abstract. If you're new to my channel, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff, whatever. Let's get into this episode, because I was waiting for... It's getting good now. You know, I ain't gonna lie. This season started off, and I was kind of like, you know, I was in my snowfall mode. So seeing this come on and being disappointed from BMF, which I still got to do my serious or season 2 finale BMF, because the season was so horrible. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just do all this at one time. Just do it like a whole season review versus episode by episode, because they really dropped the ball to me. But anyway. So this is how this was starting off to me too. It was kind of rocky. And then the last 2 episodes before this, I was like, yo, it's okay. This is starting to get somewhat decent. But to me, I don't think they should have killed Lorenzo off. I just think you did all that to build up to this character. He finally gets released from jail. You finally get the build up to Zeke. And then it happens like this. She finds out, and then the same episode, he dies. You know, it's crazy because... The first season, I hated Mary J. Blige's acting. I thought it was horrible. And I did a video about her winning the NAACP award, and I got killed for it. Because people don't know how I feel about Mary J. Blige. You know, they don't know how I used to sell her CDs in school and get money, and she's my favorite singer of all time. But so they was like, oh, you hating on her? I'm like, dude, I'm not hating. I'm being real. But anyway, last season, I thought she did very good. I thought it was like, yo, she coming into her own. And this season is kind of like, she ain't been given. No, I guess it's the material. I don't even think it's her. It's just the material she's been given. And she's just being back to being just like a shitty mom. You're like, oh my God, like, what is your issue? And then you kill your husband over your illegitimate son that you didn't even fucking tell was your son for a hot minute. He comes to you and tell you, granted, he should have told you earlier, but then you have him knocked off by the nigga. I'm like, are you like... And not only was I mad Lorenzo got killed, like I said, I think the actress that plays him does a great, amazing job, and I just feel like they just got their family together, and all of a sudden it's just something going on. Now, and to me, I don't know if it's just me, but it wasn't to me. The reaction from the kids was like, I didn't get no real emotional, except maybe from Drew, but it was just angry, but nobody seemed like they give a fuck. Like, we didn't really spend time with his character anyway, you know, on the set, so, Like, I just feel like it should have been more, nobody cried. Like, I'm like, yo, what is going on here? Like, I don't believe this at all. So that was my gripe with this episode, because I was wondering, I thought if anybody, Diana would have been crushed, you know, but she was riding a dick, father died, and then she was riding another dick. Tyreek, I'm like, oh my God, like, I know they say the best way to get over something is to get on top of somebody or get underneath somebody, but damn, nigga, like, the fuck? Shit. And I will say, I'm happy that she's not dating that Hotep Salim or whatever fuck his name was, because he sucked. He's trash. She comes to her father's repast and is dogging her family right to her face. And I'm like, bro, what's your problem? Oh. There was a lot going on this episode, but let's get into it, man. I'm sorry, I had to go on a little rant. You know, we learned that last episode also, we learned that, or Tariq learns that Lauren is still alive. He comes back to the room, and you know, Tariq, he's a thinker. He's just like his pops, you know, he tries to think things out. And obviously he knows he can't trust Effie or Brayden no more. And you know, that's a big thing for Tariq is trust. He doesn't really trust too many people, so when he does finally get to a point where he feel like he got a circle that he could full of people he could trust, he learns that the trust has been broken. So now, you know, he feel like he's on the out with everybody. And then he does the emotional thing. Oh, well, we don't need them for the business. Nigga, if you don't fucking... like, what are you talking about? But then we learn that he's trying to make a run for it, too. Because his grandma kind of puts him in his place. Like, yo, you need to get out this lifestyle. I got nobody. You took everybody from me. You know, this is all your fault. And you think about it, it is. Raina is his fault. His dad is his fault because he killed his dad. The reason his mom has to go in police custody is all his fault because of the dad situation. Like, Tariq is fucking everything up. And then they said something in this episode, too, like, he's not a street kid. You got to think about this. Tariq's not a street kid at all. But he's doing all this gangster shit. Like, I had to think about that. Like, oh shit, right? Tariq came from a good home. Like, why is he doing this? He don't need to do this. He never needed to do this. I liked it back better when we were hating Tariq in Original Power because this motherfucker suck. I know y'all like he the main character. You supposed to like him, but he ain't no Franklin, man. Franklin does fucked up shit, but you kind of see his point of view or his vantage point. But at the same time, Franklin didn't grow from privilege. He was poor, so he wanted to have nice things, and one thing led to another. Anyway, he confronts Braden. They get into a fist fight. And I was like, that's fake, because in real time, Braden would beat the shit out of him. Did you see the last episode when Braden had his shirt off and he was punching him? I said, this is a little stocky little white motherfucker. And Braden always be talking on the, if you watch their podcast, they got a podcast called The Crew Has It, Tariq and Braden. I don't know if you guys know about that or not. They got one of the dopest podcasts. I like their podcast and R&B Money. Those are my two favorite new podcasts, where they have all the guests from Power on there. And I thought it was dope, but then I thought it was fucked up for people like us too who do the recap. But I think like my format and Mark Dark's and ours is a little more different and in depth. They really haven't found the swing of a format for doing the reviews yet. They just be talking. So we got you on there because we really do this shit. Anyway, so they get into a fist fight. They beefing and Braden bitches out and puts everything on Effie. He tells Effie he wants to take her out. Effie's not stupid. She starts seeing the layout and, she's like, yo, where we going? And, yo, I respect it because she had her pistol right on her. Like, he's like, yo, you think I'm going to do something to you? You don't deserve that, What happened here? What the fuck happened here? And I give it to Tariq. He was trying to pull out something. He was trying to pull something out of him. It wasn't really too much, but, Effie, she tells him, listen, I had to do what you couldn't do. And at the end of the day, they were trying to protect. Everybody was trying to protect themselves individually. Kane didn't want to get implicated. Effie didn't want to get implicated. And then in somewhere, she didn't want Tariq to get implicated because she would get implicated still. But also, she wanted Tariq to herself because she was jealous of Lauren, She was just jealous of Lauren and Diana, And, she wanted to be number one. But now she done fucked herself. And Tariq went right to Diana's place and said, yo, I'm about to pound this thing out. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, Diana was like, aren't you? Hold on, what about Effie? Oh, we not together no more. I said, yeah, Tariq. Out of the three, I know there's always a competition. Out of the three, man, I honestly think Lauren probably is the best looking one. Just when in terms of just natural beauty. Second would be Diana, and third would be Effie. Effie's just funny. She got a funny stuff. She got a funny ass head. But anyway, so we see that Drew's boyfriend, who was Frank's son, I forget his name, posted in the comments for me if you can. He actually shows up to the funeral and the repast, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Now prior to this, Drew think it's the Russians because obviously they moved against the Russians. And Drew makes a play with the help of Frank and them Chidney to make a play against the Russians. And they wind up killing, I guess, a prominent figure. And he says his name, I'm Tejadas, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happens. So now they at war with the Russians, or so we assume. They wind up shooting up the casket. So I'm like, poor Lorenzo got his throat sliced. And then at the funeral, he gets shot up. And on top of that, Monet makes Drew number one again. And I hate how she was talking to Kane. At the table, she was talking about life insurance. And she made Kane try to do it. And she just kind of told him, like, yo, you're not that smart or you dumb or some shit. And to me, Kane has been the smartest one throughout this whole season so far. He's been calculated. He definitely has learned from his mistakes in the past. And he's learned to kind of slow down. At the beginning of the season, he did have a power trip. But once I think Lorenzo had that talk with him, he started to see the bigger picture, He was like, yo, family is everything, blah, blah, blah. And also, listen, we got to talk about Tariq had words in hands for everybody except Kane. He ain't want no smoke with Kane. So that let me know right there he a pussy. He's scared of Kane. Or just out of respect for Monet, he ain't gonna kill Kane because obviously he know he would have to take out the whole family. So I think that's I think that's just what it was. Cause I'm like, yo, he ain't got no smoke for Kane at all. So I thought it was crazy. On the other hand, we see that Sax and Davis, they have not a miscommunication, but it was just a holdup with Davis's brother because of a dilemma somewhere. I forget exactly, but he tells Sax to see if he could fast forward the communion or something. I forget the name of it. And he asks him if he knows somebody that has a direct line to the governor, and that being Tate. Yo, listen, Tate has been the king of the one-liners this season. When he said on the one episode, you know what Bitcoin is, my nigga? Yeah, send that over. I say, yo. Hilarious. This one was like, that watch is trash. What he say about Sax watch? He said, that watch is shitty. Some shitty. I forget what he said. That was hilarious, though. I'm like, yo, this dude funny as hell. But Tate is smart, man. Listen, I wouldn't mind seeing the Tate show. They just got to do it right, and they got to come with a better build up. Because you got to have Tate can't be just the main character; it'd be too boring. So he has to have supporting characters around, and I don't know how that will work out. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if he's still getting his own show. But I thought that was pretty funny. So Sax winds up doing that for Davis, and that's going to pay off in the long run. He doesn't tell Davis that Lauren is still alive. Obviously, he can't do that because that would be a whole. Jenny would probably get in trouble for that, and he don't want that, of course. Davis finds out that Lorenzo got killed and was just like, "Oh, I'll reach out later." But he shows up to the funeral, and he actually gets shot at too, and. He has the FBI hold the Russians, and I did like the fact that they did get one of the Russians that was driving away that had his head out the sunroof. But yeah, man, poor Lorenzo, dude, got his casket all shot up and shit. I'm like, damn, dude, they already got his throat sliced. But yeah, so we see that Tariq actually asked Diana to help move some weight. She tells him no, Lorenzo didn't want her doing that. But I think ultimately she wound up deciding to. And we see her putting keys inside the little brick thing they got, which I still think is genius, but I think it's too soon to be up there. And as we see, they got cameras surveying it, and they actually got a photo of Diana on the camera. And where was they at during the whole shootout thing? I just realized that. Like, wasn't they at the funeral? And then all of a sudden they ain't pull out their guns or shoot nothing. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I gotta watch that again. Like, where the fuck was y'all at? I know one of them is an attorney, but the one is a cop. You think she would have pulled her gun out and start busting? Or you would think Davis will have a pistol on him too. He got here around all these gangsters. I don't know. That was weird. I gotta watch that again. But yeah, they got Diana on the thing. Effie goes to Diana and tries to do some business with her. She's like, yo, I know you hustling out the candy shop. Everybody knows, but with me, you can do it better. Just don't tell Tariq. And then Tariq, she opened the door. Tariq sitting on the bed. Effie was pissed. She was so pissed, dude. I was like, yes. Listen, Effie been shady from the jump. Everybody was Team Effie. And no, I always thought Effie was shady. She just all for herself. We saw that in the sixth season when she got Tariq jammed up from Cho. So I'm like, yo, she always been about herself. I don't fuck with her, pretty and all that. She just got a shady side to her. She seemed like she'd be more fitting to be with Kane, which I think they're trying to allude to. That's gonna happen. So she sees that. She says, fuck y'all. Fuck both of y'all. Goes away, and then she tries to destroy the app that they made, the coffee app. Kane comes in time. He tells her, no, don't do that. He was like, yo, I still got something for you to do. I'm going to give you this work, et cetera, et cetera. And we already know where that's going to lead to. Kane going to wind up beating that thing up, man, that little thing up. So we'll see how that plays out. We see Lauren went to her house to sleep in her old bed. She was living her life. She thought that was her parents, and we saw Jenny snatches her up. she says, I'll go back, but I got to talk to Sax about something. And she has a conversation with Sax. And he tells her pretty much like, yo, Tariq might have not had nothing to do with you on this particular case. But this dude done did this. He's still a monster. Like, don't believe the hype. You know, this dude is still like a sleazeball. And, you know, Lauren was thinking, what that girl say on Maury? I'ma stand beside him. I was like, yo. I'm like, yo, that's Lauren, you know? And a lot of people wonder why Tariq loves Lauren, because Lauren is the complete opposite. You know, Lauren is like Angela. Like people say, Lauren is his Angela. She wants something completely different than the norm, you know? We saw Effie kind of still wants to continue to be in the life. She don't see no other way for her, you know? And she's like Tasha, so we get it, you know? But at the end of the day, man, Tariq too young to be dealing with all this stress, man. I'm surprised he ain't got gray hair. We see Tariq tries to make a run for it that I didn't even know what he was doing. I'm like, yo, what he doing all this work? And we see him getting followed. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck following him? I'm thinking it's like, at first I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's the Secret Service making sure he gets to his destination. Or not Secret Service, but like the FBI or whoever making sure he gets to the destination of the drop. Come to find out it was Norma's guy. They put him in the warehouse, and, you know, he's like, yo, are you trying to run? He's like, nah, I'm trying to do a drop, lying his ass off. But he winds up calling Big Mama, telling her to just go meet them. So he put them with Yaz and his mom, which I thought was pretty dope. So they could all be together. You know, hopefully she kicked her alcohol problem. And, you know, we'll see how things play out with that. But yeah, Tariq was ready to get the fuck out the lifestyle. He was like, man, I'm not doing this no more. And I don't blame you, fella, man, because it's been a stressful couple of years for you, man. You've been losing people left and right. And you know, it's going crazy. Braden Kane talks to Braden about what we were talking about earlier, how Tariq didn't try him, and tells Braden, yo, he gotta pretty much like show your authority, you know. At the same time, like, you know, your names is on this building. So Tariq goes to walk in Weston Holdings, and his employee card doesn't work anymore. And he's like, yo, what the hell? And he's like, yo, we've been told to hold your card or not let you in until you talk to Braden. So Braden comes down, try to flex his muscle, like, yo, you're not allowed here or the building, which I can't believe he did that, because I feel like his uncle would have kind of not approved on that. Or if Tariq would have hit the uncle up, uncle would have been like, yo, fuck you, Braden. Like, he just got the IRSJ account. You better let this motherfucker in here. So, you know, it's just little shit like that. Like, yo, Braden ain't got that much pull. You know, like, at the end of the day, that's his uncle would over him, because Tariq just got them a big-ass account or a big-ass investor. You know what I'm saying? So, but Tariq stood his ground and was just like, yo, dude, fuck you. But Norma's guy did tell him that he wants everybody to be at the drop, so he can't really get rid of them if he wanted to, you know? So it's all fucked up now, man. In the words of Puff Daddy, it's all fucked up now. What I'ma do now? What I'ma do now, huh? It's all fucked up now. But we do learn that they are making a case against all of them, so they know this. And, you know, they just got to try to move smarter, but we'll see how that work out. So, listen, the truth of the matter is that they all share equal blame in the whole Lawrence situation. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we know Lauren is trying to use them for a RICO. And listen, I like the fact that Tariq didn't tell anybody that Lauren was still alive, because he honestly doesn't know who to trust. You know, he can't tell Davis. Davis might tell Monet. Monet might tell Kane. And then, you know, it'll be a cycle all over again. So we'll see what happens. Braden is at fault for not handling business and taking care of Lauren to avoid a mess like this current one. Braden blames Effie for the same reason Tariq does, for interrupting their plan and putting them in a current mess. The fact is that each of them shares equal blame in the situation, because, like I said, Tariq leads the operation. So getting too close to Lauren with everything he has going on is why he has to take some of the blame. Braden is Tariq's sidekick, yet he didn't make sure he and Tariq was complete. Lastly, Effie took things to a new level by trying to kill Lauren and not completing her plan. Tariq, Braden, and Effie all have their faults in the situation, and with the new information they have about the Fed's current case against them, they should spend less time finger pointing and more time staying low and staying out of trouble. I agree with that 100%. I mean, 100%. 100%. I'm sorry. So, we'll see what happens. I thought this was a decent episode. I just don't. Everybody's bickering, and I just didn't like the emotion they gave over Lorenzo's death. I thought, it would have been. I thought we would have got a little bit more. I thought niggas would have been sad or depressing, but I guess they trying to make it seem like these hood niggas, they ain't really got time to be all doing all this shit. So I don't know. Post your comments. If it's anything I left out, let's post it in the comments below. I think I talked about everything. If not, hey man, listen, shit happens. Let's talk about it though. Make sure you like, subscribe. Peace.